Hey everyone, in this video I want to share some insights as to why my thoughts have evolved regarding trans athletes competing in women's sports. My attitude shifted after all the research I've done for these videos and reading your comments and learning from people's experiences and perspectives. Initially, I wasn't happy trans athletes were competing in women's sports, taking away opportunities for women and girls, winning medals, championships, scholarships, world records, cash prizes, and national team spots. Stories in the news media, rightfully so, highlighted trans athletes on the top of podiums. That made me mad. And I was upset. I'll be honest, those feelings of frustration were often directed towards trans athletes because I felt like they were taking advantage of women and our biological disadvantage as athletes. Do I still believe some are bad actors and may have malicious intentions? Yes. Do women make easy targets because we don't often stand up for ourselves? Yes. Do I think some trans athletes are opportunistic and taking advantage of the system for their own gains, fame, and virtue signaling? Yes. But do I hate trans athletes? No. The reality of the situation is that trans athletes competing against women are playing by the rules. It's the rules that need to change. I can't blame trans athletes for competing by the rules. One of the main reasons why my thoughts have evolved on this issue is from having conversations with trans people. Although I don't respond to all of them, I do read the comments. And I've received many comments from trans people in support, agreeing that trans athletes should not be competing against women because it's inherently unfair. But it's also unfair for many trans people who just want to live their lives in peace to be caught up in the disrespectful and hurtful actions of a few bad actors. So who do I hold accountable? Sports organizing bodies, the decision makers and rule enforcers, for being cowards and pandering to the small but loud woke ideology and the progressive feminist agenda. In my opinion, the most sinister component of all of this is the cowardly behavior of the gatekeepers, the decision makers and rule enforcers of the sports organizing bodies. They are changing the rules, making exceptions like testosterone levels, using unscientific reasoning and distorting language to discriminate against women in favor of supporting the feelings of a small, self-identified group consisting of less than 0.5% of the population, at the expense of the rights of all women athletes. This is not inclusion. It's called discrimination and oppression. We are choosing to rewrite the rules of women's sports to account for the biological advantages of trans athletes in favor of maintaining a fair and safe competitive playing field for women. I don't want any hate in my heart. And in saying this, I still don't hate the sports governing bodies, but I do hold them accountable and responsible for the unjust experiences many women and girls have had competing against men. I also hold trans activists, progressive feminists, and the woke mob accountable for putting the feelings and inclusion of 0.5% of the population above the rights of all women. They are the ones saying the rights of biological men are more important than those of biological women. The misogyny is not coming from the so-called toxic alpha men, but from them. They are not only fueling the so-called patriarchy, they are now the gatekeepers of the patriarchy. When did a request for respect and equality become a demand for unquestionable obedience? They are trying to silence anyone and everyone that goes against them, including women athletes and even other feminist groups who do not go along with the ideology that men can become women and that all women are women. Every ostracized group eventually becomes a bully. Feminism and trans activism at its roots might have stood for equality, but the way they manifest and are marketed in the world today, they are far from their noble beginnings. Feminism and trans activism, they are now bully groups, playing the oppressed victim card to gain social value and power, and then turn around and oppress and bully others. I also think it's partially the responsibility of men to call out the behavior of other men, especially when they're hurting and disrespecting women. Traditionally, strong men did this. In my opinion, it's the responsibility of men to protect women as part of a healthy and cohesive society. We need men calling out the BS of other men, just like we need women calling out the BS of other women. That is how we improve society, by supporting the good and challenging the bad. I want to find solutions and take action to move forward. I want to find ways to unite men women, trans, and all people. To restore common sense, shared respect, understanding of differences, and rebuild trust for a healthy, robust society. Instead of getting mad about every new media story about a trans athlete winning, I now want to focus my efforts on changing the rules and finding alternative solutions to support trans athletes be included in sports. Trans activists, progressive feminists, and the woke mob are bullying, harassing, and silencing women athletes. To give up our rights to fair and safe sports and to female spaces. Weak and cowardly sports organizations are going along with this. Weak and cowardly governing bodies are going along with this. But this could no longer be tolerated. We need to call them out. It's also my responsibility to call out women who are harming other women and humans doing disservice to humanity. We know better, so let's do better. My next few videos will be focused on calling out the BS. If you have any ideas or topics you want me to cover, please add them to the comments below. That's about it. I have new videos every single week. If you got value from this video and like the work that I do, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps the algorithm get it out to more people. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.